fire steels. Most, if not all of us, probably own and carry one with us in our fire starting kits. And likewise, all of us have faced difficulties getting a flame using one in conjunction with natural tinders. This leads to frustrations and a lack of confidence, which in turn leads to people stopping using them. So with this in mind, I've compiled a list of my top 5 natural tinders for using with a fire steel. And during the course of this video, I'm going to go through each of them one by one and demonstrate exactly how easy it is to get a flame using a fire steel in the proper tinder. Each of these materials has made it onto my list for 2 main reasons. Number 1, they are readily available in my area, and at least one will be available at any given time during the course of any year. And number 2, they are easy to use and get results from without any form of processing, as long as they're dry, and that is the key to any good natural tinder. And finally, before I start the demonstration, I would like to point out quickly that the order in which you see each of these tinders getting tested is no reflection on how good that tinder is in relation to the other ones in the test. They're just done in a random order. And also, at the end of the video, I'm going to share a wee secret with you which could help you start a fire with a fire steel. So until then, folks, I hope you enjoy. This tinder here, as you'll probably recognise, is just dry, dead grass, with the emphasis on the word dry. And what you want to have is your finer materials and more fibrous materials at your core. And what I like to do is just rub it together and rough it all up. And what you want to do is create a kind of bird nest structure with your fluffed up fibres at the centre. Is place your fire steel at the centre and get your striker and just pull your fire steel away, and it should start. And you'll see how easy that was. Just one strike and it was gone in flames. Now this tinder is the heads from the Rosebay Willow plant, also known as fireweed. After it's flowered, went to seed and died. This is a great tinder as long as it's nice and dry. Simple to prepare. You just simply take the stalk in one hand and with the thumb and forefinger of the other, just run it up, and you're left with a clump of fibres like this. And you just go through and keep on repeating that process. The stalks make excellent kindling, so keep a hold of them. And once you process several stalks, you should be left with a clump like this, which is a good mixture of fluffy material, which is something similar to cotton wool, and fine dry grass like material. What you want to do is fluff that up again and make a bird nest like structure. Take your fire steel, present it into the centre and draw it away from your striker. And again, that was one spark and that was away. And you can use the stalks as kindling. So that's Rosebay Willow, also known as fireweed, another really good one. This one here is the head from the cattail or bulrush plant, and as you're about to see shortly, it produces probably the quickest and most violent reaction. It is a flash tinder, however, and burns out really quickly, so you have to be fast in putting on additional stuff like dry grass to extend the flame and get it going. But you will see this one, it takes off really quick. This is a really easy one to get ready, as you're about to see. You just simply take the stalk in one hand, and with your thumb and forefinger of the other, just slide it along the stalk and knock all the seeds off. I normally do this with 2. It gives you a little bit of extra material when you consider that this is a flash tinder after all. You can keep the stalks, they're really good for kindling. Now all you need to do next is just fluff up the seeds and that's them ready to work. And what you're about to see is probably one of the fastest working natural tinders. Just one spark and this will go. But you see how quickly it's burning out. If you want to keep it going longer, you just take a stick and aggravate it slightly, and that keeps on exposing new material that hasn't burnt. But what you really want to do is have some other dry material, dry grass, dry bracken, anything that you can put on top of this, and it'll extend the flame and it'll allow you to get your kindling on. But that there is probably one of the easiest natural tinders to ignite with a fire steel. Cattails. If I was to pick a favourite natural tinder, it would be this one, birch bark. It's really easy to use and it's available all year round. It's best to source it from dead trees though, don't go taking it from live trees. But as for the processing, it's really simple. You just take a knife or a sharp object and you scrape up the surface like this. And after a short period of time, you should be left with a pile of material like this, which is a mixture of fine dust and really fine paper-like fibres, which take a spark really well. Just take your fire steel, present it in close, and shower some sparks on it. You'll see how easy that was. And if you've got another bit of spare bark, just place that on top, and that'll light really easily. And that's how simple it can be to get a fire using birch bark. Right folks, this one here is dry bracken, and I can't emphasise the word dry enough. It's basically a fern, if you're not familiar with the term bracken. This is actually the hardest out of 5 of them. It's the most temperamental out of the lot because of the fibre size, but here goes. The trick is to have plenty of material to feed it once it starts going, but it is a hard one. As I stated earlier on in the video, I was going to share a wee secret with you at the end. That secret's going to come in 2 parts. The first, the fire steel that you've seen me using throughout each and every one of these tests was this one here. It's an unbranded, cheap model off of eBay. Don't know who makes it, but it just goes to show you, you don't have to break the bank on fire steels. You've seen how good this one worked. The second, and probably most important secret, is your striker. This fire steel, like many others, came with a striker that looked like this. These are probably the most common design, and they're all junk. I've never had good results with this, and this is why you never see me use it during the test. Instead, I used the back surface from the saw blade on this Leatherman. Now you can use any sharp 90-degree surface, it's just this one I carry with me on a regular basis and it works really well for me. So, if you've got to take anything from this, your choice of fire steel isn't that vital, your choice of striker is. And that's just as important as having a nice dry tinder. So on that note folks, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something from it. If you did, then do us a wee favour, hit the like button, leave a comment, and of course subscribe to the videos to be kept up to date with future productions. So on that note folks, you take care and slange.